Hello, my name is Carrie George. I am with CIBN TV, and we are talking today about cohorts and what is a cohort at CIBN Connect and why would you want to be involved in one and what kind of a difference would that make in your business. And today I have brought with me some of my cohort leaders to talk with us about cohorts and about all the things that go on with cohorts so that you can see and hear from them like what the experience has been like for them. So you're going to love to hear some of their stories. So today joining me, I have Cliff Morgan, and Cliff runs the Sterling Group at CIBN. And we've got also David Sampson. He runs our Health and Wellness Cohort, and Sheenay is part of the Health and Wellness Cohort. She also helps me with the Women's Group Cohort and a variety of other things around CIBN. So I'm going to get their perspective as we get going. As we just get started here, though, let's introduce ourselves so everyone knows who we are and what we do and why cohorts would be important to us. So, Cliff, why don't we start with you? Tell everybody like what you do, in just like a sentence or two, like what kind of work do you have and what kind of a level client are you looking for so they can see the value of this?
Thank you, Carrie. My name is Cliff Morgan, and I'm the founder of Net Worth Accelerant. I'm a wealth strategist, and I specialize in working specifically with those that have high income or high net worth, people that earn about an average of $300,000 a year up to about a $10 million net worth. And what I do is I find ways to create a fortress for them, for their wealth, their finances, which makes it pretty impenetrable for lawsuits or any litigation. And then I also look for ways to grow their money in a very safe and efficient way where they can't lose their money and provide an ongoing source of income for them later in life.
Wonderful. So that's not a low ticket client. That's a higher ticket client, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Okay. Let's talk to David. David, tell everybody who you are, what you do, what kind of work are you doing, and what kind of client are you looking for?
Sure. Yeah, I'm David Sampson. I'm an energetic alignment coach, and I help women in their 40s to 60s or even higher help clear the heavy stagnant energies that no longer serve them anymore, which they never originally served them in the first place. But it's helping people to clear that so a new world can show up for them instead of what keeps showing up. And there's that definition of insanity. If we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different result, then that is insanity. So I help people shift that into something different.
Wonderful, wonderful. So do you have some high ticket programs as well?
Not at this moment, and I am working on some.
Okay, so your monthly products, like that kind of thing, 300, 500 a month, 1,000, what's the price range? I just want people to kind of have an idea of like how this helps at different levels.
Yeah, so anywhere like $250 starting from.
$250 and up. Okay, yeah. Very reasonable. Sheenay Richardson, step right up to the microphone. Tell everybody who you are, what you do, and so we can talk about how the cohorts have helped you. So what's your business and what kind of clients are you looking for?
Yes, again, I'm Sheenay Richardson. I am a wellness advocate and I am a wealth educator. And what I do is with my wealth business, I teach individuals, families, and business owners how money works and how to make money work for them. And for my wellness business, it's a product-based business. And what I do is I educate people and advocate for them how to create and live a safer and healthier lifestyle for them as people, pets, and the environment collectively. And the people that I look for the most collectively is families as well as business owners. So where both collaborate together and we can definitely make things happen when we just do it overall. So families with homes and business owners with places of business that actually have buildings.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, and so if you don't know who I am, I'm Carrie George. I own CIBN Connect, which is a global business network where we bring entrepreneurs and people together for business training. We train people on how to do things like how to network, how to sell, how to run a community group of their own, and how to speak. We have a speakers groups. We've got all these different levels. They range in price from $37 a month, and those go up to about $500 a month. And I also take high ticket clients, usually people that are building membership-based communities. And those are $25,000 clients. We have $10,000 sponsors and up from that. So the reason I'm telling you this is that when I'm talking about the cohort and how it works, I want you to be able to see how this could work for you and your business, just like it's worked for us in our businesses, and also the hundreds and thousands of businesses that are coming into CIBN Connect, how it's working for them. So we started, I think it was back in January, the cohort project, where we started to create cohorts that were bringing people together that had similar target markets, and they were sharing the leads that they get for their business and the customers they get with their business with other people in that group, in that cohort. And I know a lot of networking says that they're going to do that, but they tend to not get it done. And I always say that it has to do with, first of all, people don't get to know, like, and trust you. They only get to like you. They get to that part. So we come into a meeting, we meet David Sampson and go, oh, I like him. But do I like him enough to give him the connection to my $25,000 customer? You know, not usually, right? Usually I'd have to get to know him and trust him better. So we've added some training components and some tools to this so that we could get to know and trust better, and then brought the people in specifically to a cohort that would bring just the right people together that had the same client market. And that has been a tremendous experience. So Cliff, you started a group, a cohort of your own back at the beginning of the year with, yours is called the Sterling Group. Is that right?
Sterling Cohort, correct.
Yeah. So tell us about the Sterling Cohort. Why is it unique, and what kind of people have joined just that particular cohort?
Well, so for our cohort, we have people that they work with clients that are in the same niche that I work with. So people that have an average household income of $300,000 up to about a $10 million net worth. They work with small independent businesses, individual families. They themselves have also earned a six-figure income on an annual basis. So we all are able to collaborate in a very strong way. And when you get a referral from someone who has the same type of client base that you're working with, if they have bought something from them at their price point and they referred them to you to work with, your closing ratio goes up significantly, upwards of 80%. And that's a really big difference because you're borrowing someone else's credibility. You're getting a personal referral from someone that has already done business together to you to also work together. Now, when we started our cohort, we started with about 15 people, and then that pared down. And then we added a couple more people in the first couple of weeks, and then that pared down. And I think we actually finished out with about 11 people in the cohort. That's a pretty solid group. And out of those 11, we start off by building our individual pods. So we have one or two people that we add in, and then three or four that we add in at a later date. And then the goal is to build a really strong relationship with those individuals so that you don't just like them, but you also trust them. You understand their business process, how they do things. And you know when you hand a client off to them that you can trust that they're going to be well taken care of because you understand their process. So you can communicate that to your own client and set proper expectations.
Awesome. Awesome. So as you've been getting to know and trust people in that community, it's allowed you to feel comfortable to give them your own high ticket client. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. All right. Now, so you have the Sterling Cohort is for people who, like, you have clients that are making a good deal of income. I just want to come down now. We got a different cohort. The Health and Wellness Cohort is actually been, it was started a few months ago with David Sampson's our leader for the Health and Wellness Cohort. David, tell us about that cohort. What's the Health and Wellness Cohort about?
Yeah, so the Health and Wellness Cohort, we all meet, and there's a few of our members in our group who are actually coaches, and there's other, well, we're all pretty much coaches, and then we're there's also the spiritual side as well. So we actually bring a very holistic look at helping each other out, and that's really what we have been doing, is really helping each other out. So we need to. We've been talking about if we want to boost someone's posts, we can actually have a little party and actually just start boosting our LinkedIn posts or Facebook posts or which we choose. So it's really about getting to know and connect with each other at a deeper level. So then that way it does become easier for us to actually exchange referrals with each other.
Yeah,
that's really what it's
and
about.
you also have people in there who have products that are like, they supply products for the health and wellness, right? And Sheenay is one of those. Sheenay's been part of that group. Sheenay, do you want to comment on, what it's like to be someone who provides not just services but products in the health and wellness realm and being part of that group?
Sure. What I like about it is that it's unique because I offer products, and a lot of people are more, they want to see results, and they want to see results a little more quicker. So for me, what I like is that I can do the best of both. My service-based business is more of a be patient longevity, versus you still have to have patience with the products, but it's tangible. People can touch, feel, and see it, and actually work through the results like firsthand. They can physically have an impact on them. So that's what I like about that. And when it comes to the cohort, I like how you can be surrounded by like-minded people. They're like-minded, but they have different things to offer. And what I'm working on is a collaboration circle with the cohort. So I offer the products, but they offer the service when it comes to mindset shift, when it comes to health physically with, maybe losing weight, or just the immune system, the mindset. I like that I have different people to circle around, so that what I don't offer, I can refer them to someone else. So I really like that circle build up. That's what the cohort is about. It's a collaboration circle, to get like-minded people who do different things, but we work together to create the same purpose, which is to help people, live better, live smarter, and move different in a positive way.
Right. And I know that you just joined me in our women's cohort as well. We have a women's cohort where women are, helping each other, and women who serve, mainly just women, working together in that particular cohort. And we've also got one at CIBN that is, it's called the referral group, and they actually just meet for tech and marketing. They're all tech companies or marketing companies, AI kind of companies. And they also work together because when one gets a business, working with them for getting a website, for example, then they might need this other service over here, which is maybe helping out with LinkedIn things specifically. And then they might need somebody else that builds like chat GPT bots, this kind of stuff. So they refer back and forth to each other, and they're all on the kind of the technical end and providing. I think they have a business coach in there as well, because that person ends up being needed by that group. So each one of these cohorts has a function. They have like a theme, and they have similarity in what they're looking for, the kind of client that they're looking for. And like in the Sterling group, it's a high net worth client. That client makes more money. In the health and wellness one, the clients are B2C users. That's often the end user is a customer that is looking to improve their health in some way. And in the women's network, it might be the women are serving other women. A lot of them are women in business, but there's also women that are consumers. So it's kind of a B and C mix. And there are there's different ways of using these cohorts. But what we've been trying to accomplish is, and what we have been accomplishing, is that as the cohort members get to know each other in a more improved way, they get to go deeper in their relationship with each other. And as a result of them going deeper in relationship with each other, not just getting to like each other, they get to the know and trust part, and they start sharing actual clients with each other, not just someone that they met on the internet one time. And so the amount of business goes up. And in that knowing and trusting process, as we're getting through that, what we do is we have more meetings to accomplish that. And I'm just going to bring us back here. Cliff, I know you've had quite a few of these meetings. Usually we just have a one-on-one with somebody that we met at networking. They say, yes, they're going to give you a referral, and then it never happens. So when you have a meeting with somebody from a cohort, what happens after the first meeting? If you decide you like them, what are you going to do next?
So if I have someone that's in my fellow cohort that I like and I want to make part of my pod, Well, I go ahead and book a meeting from that meeting. I don't leave the meeting without booking a follow-up meeting, because if I do, it's just a social interaction. And I want to make sure that that relationship maintains consistency. And by booking that meeting straight from that, it allows me to do that. But we have a structured format that we use so that each successive meeting accomplishes different things. So typically, if we are selecting an individual for one of our small pods, we're going to have about 3 or 4 meetings with them before we really start getting those referrals, or at least 3 meetings.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know, when we get together, we don't just get together and talk about our life and our cats and stuff like that. And we actually have some things to cover. On that first one-on-one, we have questions where we're discovering who are they, what do they do? That's pretty typical in networking. But the meeting that comes after that, if we like them and they have the same target market as us, the next meeting that we have, we usually talk about the why and the vision. And that helps us to go deeper in relationship faster. What have some of those meetings been like for you, Cliff, as you've met people and talked about their why and their vision?
Well, per your teaching, I mean, we really dig down into a person's why. And it's not enough to have someone say, well, I do it for the kids, or I do it for my family. You really want to find out what the root or core of their why is. And usually for an individual, this is something that's very personal. And a lot of times, or many times, you have to drill down about 7 levels before you get to the true why someone has. But when you really understand what that why is, you understand what truly motivates them and the core of who they are. And what I found interesting, Carrie, is the fact that a lot of people that are part of my group, we have similar cores, which I don't know if that was accident or by design, but it's pretty neat. But some of us have similar backgrounds in how we grew up and things that we went through, challenges that we've had, how we've overcome those challenges, and really having an opportunity to understand their why. It also lets you know, can I trust this person to work with my client if I hand them off to them? Someone that's purely money centric and they really could care less about the client. It's not somebody I really want to do business with, but fortunately the people that, have been in our cohort have been very solid. And the people in my pod, their alliance is more with what's in it best for the client. And then if you help people in life get what they want, you'll always have what you want. And we all share that philosophy.
Yeah, I've been finding too. We've been doing this training and implementing it for about 17 years. So we didn't just come up with it yesterday. It's something that, we found people who are being very successful in their networking, and we started training this years ago. And of course, it goes into the book, Smart Networking, the $150,000 method. We use that as a tool as we are doing this. And we have some other tools as well that we use. Let's just talk about what some of those are. I know some of you have been using the Chrome extension with LinkedIn and inviting new people into your pods by using the Chrome extension. Also having the members of the group refer people to you using the Chrome extension. David, I'll just get you to comment on that. Like how easy is it to use the Chrome extension, and how helpful is it in this situation of the cohort specifically?
Yeah, well, the Chrome extension is awesome because it really gets us to learn what networking is all about, and it gets us to ask for referrals, and it gets us to give referrals as well. So it's really beneficial in really learning how to network. That's what I really found, and I found a few other people in our cohort that actually agreed as well.
Yeah, awesome. And are you guys getting business from this? Are you actually landing clients? Getting people to purchase or get to that next level step with you as a result? So can anyone say, yeah, this is happening for me, and we make it work? Yeah,
We're definitely moving to the next step.
Yeah, awesome. And I know when some of you have larger sales cycles, like Cliff, you take sometimes months,
maybe several months.
Yeah, before it actually comes to having a client. Where Sheenay might, be able to do that in 1 or 2 meetings with somebody moving forward. So, and Sheenay, as you've been getting to know people and using this next step of learning what their why and their vision is, like, how has that been helpful for you to go next level with these people so that you can be better collaborators?
Well, it does teach you about the person. So you're getting the know and the like factor in place. And then once you understand, where they're coming from and what their purpose and goals are, it creates that trust factor as well, because it helps you to realize, okay, this is what they need, this is what they want to do. And it opens it up to, okay, I know what to look for when I'm out here networking and meeting different people. So it helps you to build that referral factor or the introduction when it comes to the networking concept. So that's what I like about it, is when I meet with people, I understand who they are, what they do, and what they're looking for. And it helps me to look for that and to even naturally not even look for it, but to attract it and to be able to see it and to be able to introduce them to those type of people and that type of service that they're looking for.
Yeah. And I know our third meeting that we have with somebody who we've identified as being a natural collaborator for us, that third meeting is all about asking them, what do you do with a referral? And how do you, move forward with the client? Because that puts my mind and heart at ease when I'm referring someone to you. I would now know what that process is like. Cliff, what was it like to learn about that from other people? It's like, because you know what your process is, but when you find out what their process is, did you learn anything? Were there any surprises? Was there anything that was like, oh, I didn't know that, or think something that made you comfortable or even uncomfortable? You went, okay, that's not the right guy for me. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
There was nothing that was uncomfortable that I encountered. But what I did find is everyone has slightly different systems that they use. So, in working with those different individuals in the pod, I just document the process for each individual and I make that part of their profile. And then for myself, whenever I'm working with someone, I actually put it into my CRM and I track everything through the CRM so that things actually stay top of mind and they don't fall through the cracks. And, we just talk about our timing, how we actually engage, how quickly we engage, what we do with that lead once we receive that, how referrals are actually compensated, and when. So a lot of that was really good. And then the process we take the clients through, start to finish, just helping them understand that entire process. I think it really does, just as you said, Carrie. It helps put their mind at ease and understand that you're doing what's right by their client. It also helps them understand I can work with this person because I trust that their process is in place. And when I hand a client over to them, I know that they're going to be taken care of.
Yeah, that's really, truly wonderful. I meet people all the time and they say, oh, Carrie, I don't need to go through that process to get referrals. And that's true. You can get a referral sometimes from anybody if you're good at asking for them. But it's rare that, well, it's never actually, it's absolutely never that you have somebody who has the same target market as you that's referring 3 to 5 a month to you. Okay, that is a never scenario unless it is by design. So the cohort creates that design and then brings people together to actually do it and has some steps of accountability. We go through 6 to 8 weeks with them once a week and then once a month for 3 weeks before we open it again. What did you guys feel as you went through that 6 to 8 weeks, initial cohort time? Like, what was that like for you? What did you learn? What were some of your thoughts? I'll pick on David first. Go ahead, David.
So some of my thoughts were just it's just all about really just connecting with each other. And that's really what it's about, and learning from each other. And then once we actually start learning from each other, the more meetings we have with them, the more it starts to click of, oh, I can actually refer you to this person. I can refer you to that person. And when it starts to click, then that's when actually magic really starts to happen in our spaces.
Yeah. And I know in your cohort too, you also started to figure out how you can have events together and do other collaboration projects that started to come about as you went through those weeks. Sheenay, what about you? What were some of those things that you picked up in those first 6 to 8 weeks of meeting together with this group?
What I really liked about it is it helped me to become more strategized as far as, when everyone would speak and say who they are and what they did the first couple of sessions, it was like, okay, I made notes of who they are, what they did, what they looked for. So that way, when I met with them again, I have an idea. And when I met with the other members of the cohort, I could say, well, so-and-so did mention they did this. Maybe we can, maybe I can refer them to you, or maybe we can do a collaboration trio or whatever the case was. But I like that it was a layout of who they were, what they did, and what they were looking for. So it really helped me niche down what to expect when we would meet. And it also niched down when the cohort was over with, to look over the list to see, okay, who would be the best collaboration partner for me, or in the collaboration circle, who would be my top 3 to 5 to actually really sit down with and say, you know what, I think we work well together. Let's make it happen, not just within the cohort, but actually outside of it as a collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely. Cliff, what about you? What'd you learn those first 6 to 8 weeks as you met with these people weekly?
Well, what was exciting was that we were provided a framework. Since we were the very first cohort groups that started, we in essence had a framework to start from. Carrie gave us a lot of flexibility and autonomy where we could build and develop our own programs. So I created presentations for each one of our weeks, and I would go through the presentation with the group, and it actually set the tone and the structure for the group each week when we met. And I provided enough opportunity for us to interact after. And through that interaction, we were able to come up with specific systems and put those systems in place. So I would say that because Carrie was so trusting and willing to give us autonomy, provided that we actually maintain the framework of her teaching, it allowed us to actually, in my opinion, expand the program and even improve upon it, almost like a mastermind of the cohorts. So it was really good, and we created a lot of new systems from that, and a lot of really good results. And I was very open to taking feedback from other members of the cohort. So when they suggested that we do something, we actually discussed it as a group and usually implemented it because it was a really good idea, and it's really grown beyond what I thought that it would. Now, after going through the first cohort group, the next time I do this, I believe that I can even further improve upon it because I can see what I did through the first one. And now actually going through the entire process and through the entire framework, I can see now the bigger picture. And next time going through, I can refine each step of the process and make it even better.
Yeah, I was like a proud mama watching you and some of the other cohort leaders, Christina Jensen as well, created new things. And David did. Everyone had these little pieces that they did. And I know that when Cliff did his and he created his presentations, I actually got together with him and we recorded them. And they're now going to go into the training portal for all of our member base, on how to, create your cohort, how to get it going and functioning, and what each meeting should cover. So he did this great presentation. We've actually made that part of the network training, and Christina created a spreadsheet, or we had a spreadsheet I think that came out of yours, and she went and took it next level and added pages to it and did all this stuff, and it was like, oh, okay, that's really super cool. That was like, okay, so now they all have this addendum to it that makes it even more effective. Each person each team leader brought something new to the project, and now we're seeing the entire organization is benefiting from that. And it's not just now the Chrome extension tool and one presentation. There's all these different things that they can all access, and we have a leadership hub where they can actually see it and use it and implement it. Learning one from another, and each cohort is actually growing and multiplying as a result of what the other ones contributed before them. So it's taking on a life of its own. It's really phenomenal. But I know, Cliff, that you even started to implement something where you started to meet with the members. Like everyone was coming in from online, from around the world, right? And so you actually went and started meeting some of the members in person. So tell us about that. Like what happened with that in your cohort?
Well, so my first one was with a gentleman that's part of my cohort. He resides in Greenville, South Carolina. I made a trip down to Greenville, South Carolina for a networking event that he was telling me about. And I said, well, absolutely, I'll come there. Gave me an excuse to stay in a really nice property that's in Greenville, right on the river. And when I went to the networking event, he actually was like a fly on the wall. He was a silent observer, stood beside me and just watched how I did things. And what he found was that not only did I teach smart networking from Carrie George's book, but I also put it into practice. And he was able to watch me do that live, which was fantastic. We spent several hours after the networking event just hanging out, getting to know each other. We had dinner together. Found out that we both love Asian food, found a nice Korean restaurant. Came back to the hotel. We wound up playing a game of chess, which we found out we're both pretty equal with one another. And we communicate on a regular basis. So that's really strong. And I think that it just went the extra step in strengthening that relationship. And then I have an attorney that also is part of my cohort down in Austin, Texas. And I went down and met with she and her husband both, and had an incredible time. And I really think that it was more about just building that relationship and building that rapport, and begin to build that trust. It takes time. And we wound up walking around the river in Austin. We wound up going to a vineyard that was about 45 minutes to an hour outside of Austin, and had a great time at the vineyard. Came back to the hotel, and the first time we even talk about business, it's after we've been out all day long, walked around the river, went to the vineyard, come back to the hotel. We're sitting in the lobby, and I'm sitting in the sofa, and my eyes are starting to drift. I'm getting tired. And then the husband just pops it, and he says, "So how do you plan on working with my wife?" So my brain had to wake up, and I had to kind of put everything back together again real quick, and just explain in a very small summary how we're going to do it. But it's been really good. And then I have a couple of other members that are in the cohort that I plan to meet with as well. So I have one that's in the metro Atlanta area that I plan to meet with in the next month. And I'd like to plan a trip. There's one more that's out in the Netherlands. That one's going to be a little bit more of a specialized trip. But to have an opportunity to go out there and spend a week out there, I think would be a lot of fun. I've never been to the Netherlands before.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
It really has strengthened the relationship
too, where we've gotten together. I know I've met Cliff. Cliff came up to one of my mountain masterminds in Banff, and we had a tremendous time in Banff. And he was surprised to find out that I would cook for him.
She is awesome, and her husband's amazing too. I mean, it was just an incredible time. We were there an entire week. I mean, every single morning you wake up, and this is May 2 years ago. You look outside the back sliding glass door, and you're looking at mountain ranges that, is this real? I mean, can it really look like this in real life? It's like something you see in a movie. It's just that breathtaking. Snowing the first day that we get there, it snowed, I think, 3 or 4 of the days that we were there. It was just gorgeous. But we learned a lot.
No, it wasn't like it was like crippling. It was just came down just a little bit to make it beautiful.
Some of them like the size of the old style silver dollars. I mean, big. And we had an opportunity to actually meet on a regular basis while we were there, collaborate with one another, come up with new concepts and ideas. We played games, Cash Flow 101. We played, and I believe, if I remember, Carrie's husband won. We had an incredible time, and the food was great. We never went hungry. We ate extremely well. We had a lot of private time where we could actually work with ourselves and refine the process of what we were there to work on. But we also had time together as a group where we could really experience that mind share and expand what we were working on.
Yeah. So our collaborative groups, like, they lead to this kind of stuff where we get together and do things in a deeper way. And I know we have other experiences like that at CIBN and more that are coming. We've got a mastermind coming up in Utah. We'll have another one next year again back in Banff. We do these things from time to time, bringing the members together, for physical get-togethers as well as online. But the cohort is kind of where the teams come together and they discover one another and they start doing this. So, and that's what we want to encourage people to become part of one of the cohorts, because it's deeper than just, doing online networking or even in-person networking. You'll go deeper with these people than you do in many of your in-person networking events as well, because you're asking questions of a deeper nature from one another in a way that you've never done before with anyone you've done business with. So it helps to establish that trust and go further into that relationship so that you can now feel like I can give this person my best clients and they can give them to me, which is a total game changer. So anyone want to add just as we finish up here?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that the gentleman that is in Greenville, South Carolina, and I have talked about is actually doing a live event together, where we actually come together. We actually have his clients, my clients, we all come together and we also promote this and do a live event. And we actually have scoped out a potential venue. And during the networking event, I happened to meet someone there that is a phenomenal rainmaker. So we both agree that she would be great in helping us promote this and actually get butts in the seat. There's some really big things that can come from this. And it's not just necessarily about sharing leads, but it's about building long-standing business relationships and even in some cases friendships that will last far beyond the cohort itself.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Any final thoughts, David?
And it's just really all about helping each other. That's really what it's about, is we all help each other out, and in return we all are helped.
That's right. Sheenay, any final thoughts?
I just want to say that I think cohorts are a great way, no matter where you are in the business, whether you're entry level, you've been in the business for a while or for a long time. It's a great way to really just put yourself out there to help others and to receive it in return. So it's really just like a support group, in another word. So I think cohorts are a great way to start, no matter where you are in the business.
Yeah, absolutely. And the cohorts, it starts out with one thing, and that one thing leads to another thing, which leads to another thing. And as Cliff was saying, sometimes it leads to a larger event where you do this event together. Sometimes it leads to $1 million deals, really, really big deals that would never have come about if it wasn't for the fact that you had gotten into a deeper relationship in the cohort. So super excited to see what the next chapter of this is going to bring at CIBN. We've added additional tools for this and additional opportunities. And the cohorts are now coming open again. So we want to give people an opportunity because they have limited time windows when they're open. So when you're told that there's a spot open in the Sterling group or the Health and Wellness group, like, it's no joke. It's like it's open for this window and then it closes again, and it might be closed for 6 months. So if you have an opportunity to get into that niche that is exactly your niche, you want to jump on it right now, get in there, get involved, and take it to the next level, because you never know where it's going to go for you. All right. What do you guys, do you think that people should join the cohort when you have an opening?
100%.
Yes.
This is nothing like any other networking group I've ever been part of.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll talk to you all soon, and happy capitalism.
Happy capitalism.
Happy capitalism.